Hey guys, Slimber here, and I know I've been gone the last 4 months, but I decided to come back and do another video on Prageru because apparently they're now allowed to be used in schools. Yes, within the past 4 months, ladies and gentlemen, Prageru has been accepted to be used in schools like in Florida and Texas and some other states, but those are the ones I remember. Now, the Young Turks had some criticism of this. Even though I don't really like the Young Turks, I agree with their criticism of this. The CEO, Marissa Straight, is responding in this video that we're responding to, and we're going to get into it right now.
Okay, folks, so given that the Young Turks decided to do a hit piece on us, and of course they didn't even bother contacting me about Prageru Kids.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to make criticism of somebody, you have to contact them first. You have to call them, email them, and say, hey, is it okay if I make criticism of you?
I'm just going to watch what they decided to report on us, and I'm going to react and actually share the truth with you. So here we go.
Friends, I'm ecstatic to make this groundbreaking announcement. Prageru is now making it into schools.
You just heard from the CEO over at Prageru, which of course is not an actual accredited educational institution.
I want to tell you why we're not an accredited institution, because accredited these days is synonymous with controlled. And so if we actually get an accreditation, that would mean that we would be controlled by political elites, the Department of Education, which is basically a sellout to the NEA and the AFD, the union bosses. And so we actually decided to have education freedom and have the freedom to teach so that we're not controlled. It's the only reason why we don't care about accreditation.
So her idea of education freedom and control is, so basically if she were to be accredited by the United States government, the Department of Education or whatever, she wouldn't be able to just like spill her propaganda so easily. They'd have to be a lot more secretive about, or not secretive, but they'd have to be a lot more subtle about it. And obviously they don't want to be because they want to be straight up goddamn propaganda. So that's why she thinks it's controlling of them to just, you know, have a normal curriculum.
Our presenters, our educators are probably more credible than what you will find in most educational institutions.
Interesting. Is that why your worksheets are covered in factual misinformation and spelling errors, typos? Is that why you hired people that can't go back and fix typos or check for typos and make sure they have information correctly? Like, for example, John Quincy Adams wasn't the 4th president of the United States. You guys said John Adams' son was the 4th president of the United States. That's not true. The 4th president of the United States was James Madison. John Quincy Adams was the 6th president of the United States. So it actually looks like somebody finally did their job and took that down. I found that from a video from Zoe B. I'm going to show a clip from that, but I'm also going to link to the full video in the description so you guys can check it out, because she talks about this a lot better than I can, because she's actually like a teacher herself.
The guess or mess lesson on John Adams is certainly ambitious. It's a part of a larger project where students are tasked with doing research papers and presentations on presidents, but it's written really confusingly and also has students do research papers without actually giving any support or scaffolding for how to do research projects, which is literally what lesson plans are for. Also, they say that John Adams' son was the 4th president of the United States. He was not. He was the 6th president of the United States.
But Marissa Street argues that now Florida will allow Prageru materials to be utilized in their grade school curriculum. For now, that's only allowed in the state of Florida, but this is a dream for the conservatives over at Prageru and the wealthy donors that help to fund Prageru.
Okay, so we are actually not funded by wealthy donors or billionaires. We have about 300,000 donors from all over the country, frankly, all over the world. And the average gift donation at Prageru is $45 to $50.
Yes, that's actually really good wordplay right there. That's really clever. Because when you say, yes, the average person probably only gives them $45 to $50. That's probably the average donation. It's a good way to hide the fact that oil tycoons like Dan and Ferris Wilks have given them millions or billions of dollars. It's a good way to hide that the DeVos family has given them millions of dollars. It's a good way to hide that the Bradley Foundation has given them millions of dollars. I gotta give her credit. She's good with wordplay.
So we're actually funded by the public for the public.
No, you might have gotten some boomers to fund you, but the thing is, you didn't get that advertising budget through them. I mean, $13 million, that's based off what you're saying, that's how much you would have before taxes, is a lot, but you're getting even more from the oil companies, and you know it, and you can find this online just by looking this shit up.
And when you consider the ideological slant there, it is a problem, especially coming from the individuals who claim that they're concerned about indoctrination in public schools. But we'll get to the details on what the course materials could involve in just a moment. First, it's important to understand the scope of this project. PragerU is infamous for their online videos, and there's plenty of that in PragerU Kids as well. The PragerU Kids material can now be used in.
So wrong B-roll here. This is not PragerU Kids material, but this is not PragerU Kids material, but you might want to show it to your kids anyway.
Is Leo and Layla, and it's about two time-traveling children who ask historical figures for advice on how to deal with modern-day problems. And as you can imagine, the modern-day problems are often based on conservative culture war narratives and grievances. So we're going to get to the examples in just a moment. But Jake, I mean, I was under the impression that conservatives didn't want indoctrination in public schools.
All of a sudden, when it's indoctrination from the right wing, they seem to be pretty in favor of it.
So let me tell you why PragerU content is not indoctrination. Number one,
You've lost me already.
we believe in providing a window into the classroom. This is why every piece of content we make is actually on PragerU.com. It's on our website. Parents, remember feeling like you're being gaslit where you are being gaslit. But when it comes to PragerU, if we provide content to teachers, we also provide it to parents so they can go and see and make choices with their schools as to what is appropriate for their classrooms. And so this is the difference between the indoctrination of the left. I'm going to give you a bunch of examples of what I call indoctrination.
Well, now I need to see this because I wasn't even in school that long ago. 2015 is when I left school. And it always seemed like it was right-wing establishment propaganda. I never saw left-wing propaganda. Let me see this left-wing propaganda that you all keep saying, you guys have been saying for years is there.
Here is 5th and 6th grade reading material, Rick and Melissa, about early sexualization of our kids. Melissa was born George, but apparently is transgender, and somehow Scholastic decided to give them an award because they think it's appropriate for 5th and 6th graders to read in school.
Scholastic, that's interesting. Now, what classes are teaching this? What schools are reading this? Because from what I remember, Scholastic just did the book fair. They made books. You could buy them at the book fair. You could choose to buy them, but they weren't like something that was read in class to you. And I have no problem with if they want to throw PragerU books in the book fair and parents are made aware, hey, this is what your kid might be seeing. Same thing with this. That's 100% fine with me. But when you're fucking, oh, I'm going to teach this in class. No. What the fuck? No.
Do parents know about this? Is this transparent?
They should know about it when the kid comes home reading it because they bought it at the fucking book fair. And if they don't know what their kid is goddamn reading, they're doing a shit job and they shouldn't have had kids in the fucking first place because clearly they can't parent. And the difference between this and what you guys want to do is this is an optional thing that they can buy at the book fair. They don't have to buy this thing at the book fair. The parents give them money to go buy this at the book fair. And the parents should probably ask what they're getting. The PragerU shit you guys want to teach in classes.
No, it's not transparent. Every single content that we make for PragerU, again, is on our website.
Well, based off your same logic, they have these books on their website and you can even read them. You can even read the books. So What the fuck? That's just as transparent as what you're doing.
Here's another version of indoctrination. This is supposed to be math class. But the 1619 Project recommends that while teaching graphs and math, you actually use the calculation to distinguish how much reparations are owed to, I guess, descendants of African-American slaves.
Okay, that is pretty ridiculous, but a math prompt is not nearly as bad as the propaganda that you guys are spewing.
This is what I call indoctrination because parents have no idea. Here is the Black Lives Matter curriculum endorsed by USD. How many parents know that this is what's actually being implemented in our classrooms?
Well, clearly parents should be aware because it is talking about a parent peace room on that poster you're showing. So clearly there's something they want parents to see on there. Clearly there's intended transparency on there. And even then, I don't quite understand the issue with it. Do you not believe Black Lives Matter? Do you believe they don't matter?
What was the commentary on that? Do you know that the 1619 Project claims that white Americans have purposefully given sugar to African Americans in order to hurt and create a gap between whites and blacks? Analyze the way the sugar industry and other industries that grew as a result of slave labor have led to the wealth gap of African Americans in the U.S.
I think the question is worded very poorly. But at the same time, sugar was one of the big cash crops that they used for slavery. They had slaves get sugar for them. I know PragerU's understanding of history is very basic, but that's also like 5th grade level history. So I think they should know that, right? I mean, sugar has a big fucking, history with slavery. And you can look into that online. There's stuff about that. PBS covers it. They're covering the 1619 Project, but they do cover it with actual historians talking about it.
This is what we call indoctrination, the fact that it's being snuck into our classrooms and parents have no idea. There are no windows into our classrooms. There's only gaslighting.
But parents can look online at the 1619 Project. If your standards are, hey, they can look online and see what we're doing, then why can't the same standards apply to them? I mean, goddamn. And also, if parents don't know what's going on in the classroom, why don't they ask? Why don't they go find out? Because here's the deal, I'm so sick of conservatives crying about how much they love personal responsibility, but the second it involves a parent and a child, God forbid they fucking hate it. Because every time it's the state has to protect them, the state has to do the parents' work.
And so what we believe here at PragerU is that parents deserve to know what is happening in schools across America.
There's nothing stopping them from finding out. I mean, a couple years ago, they were all on Zoom meetings. You don't think they could sit down and listen to a fucking Zoom meeting? Or nowadays, go to a PTA meeting. Hell, you could probably talk to the teacher yourself about the fucking curriculum. I mean, god fucking damn, dude. You just want a lazy way for parents to fucking blame everybody else but themselves when their kids turn around and realize they're a bunch of fucking retards.
And that parents should get involved in their kids' education.
They should, but they don't, and you're giving them an excuse not to.
And so if a teacher in a school if they choose to use the content that we make, and again, we are not heavy-handed about this, and none of the states that are working with us are heavy-handed about the material that we provide. We believe in resources and choices so that local communities can evaluate our curriculum and make the choice to either use our content or not use our content.
Except they shouldn't be able to use your content because your content is fucking propaganda. Even if it weren't propaganda, there's a political bias to it and they shouldn't be able to use it. Just like they shouldn't be able to use my content. Obviously they wouldn't because I say fuck too much in my goddamn fucking videos. But still, they shouldn't be able to use your content or any political biased content to show to fucking kids like that. If a parent wants to do it, it's one thing, But a fucking whole teacher should not be able to fucking show them this fucking propaganda bullshit you guys are putting out for literal children.
You want to make sure that they provide the parents the window into the classroom so that they can see what's being taught and that they can use the flipped classroom method, which basically means that whatever it is that they're watching in school, they can also watch at home for extra reinforcement and extra discussions with the families at home.
So there's two different problems here. Number one, PragerU is funded completely by right-wing billionaires. So this is now a pipeline for some right-wing billionaires going, I'd like to indoctrinate the kids with my particular propaganda. So I'm going to pay Prager, and then Prager is going to get it into the schools. And that way we're going to brainwash the kids into horrible things. So PragerU Kids is apparently a little bit different than PragerU overall.
Right.
But PragerU does the worst videos. I'll just give you one example and then we'll go back to PragerU Kids to give you a sense of what this organization is about. They did a video celebrating and praising Robert E. Lee, saying his statue shouldn't be taken down. And in the video, they explained, because Robert E. Lee, one of the upsides of him was that he put down a slave rebellion and killed everyone who was rebelling.
Okay, so I am going to be completely honest and transparent with you because that's what most media companies do not do, but at PragerU, we believe in transparency.
Oh, really? Because that might be a new thing, because based off every other video I've made on you guys for the past, now it's 5 years, 4 years? You guys have never believed in transparency. What the fuck?
And so a few years ago, when we started growing PragerU, we started using some independent contractors, and someone wrote a script for us on Robert E. Lee, and it made it into our system. By the time we recognized that this video was out, we immediately took it down.
It shouldn't have went up in the fucking first place. What the actual fuck? Nobody proofreads the scripts that you guys have? Your voice actors or voice actresses didn't say anything about that? Like, what the fuck? No. You guys got controversy for it and took it down. Stop. And I get the animation is like shitty and stuff, but I know it didn't take you fucking like 2 seconds to make that. There was a lot of people involved, or at least a decent amount of people who would have noticed that. You guys wanted that up in the first place.
We took action. We removed it. Go to PragerU.com. Go on our website. Go on our app. You will not be able to find this video because we really couldn't stand by that content. And you should know that media companies like ours that make 40 pieces of content every single week will have situations where there are things that we don't like. And so we have a team that reviews things, but sometimes things get, wiggled in, but then they fall between the cracks. And that's what happened with that particular video.
Yeah, we just have somebody that just uploads whenever the fuck they feel like it, whether the team, wants to sometimes.
It was not a product that we were proud of. As soon as we were aware of it, we took it down. And this is just another one of those examples where companies that are trying to really slander us are still holding on to a video that we took down. Really, Chank, you couldn't find anything in 3 years that's still on our website that you can condemn. And so you had to go to a video that was up for less than a month that is gone.
Hold up. No, we're not just gonna skip that. What did you just say? How long was it up?
Video that was up for less than a month.
Okay, so like if it were up for maybe less than a day, maybe I would give you like more slack. But holy shit, no, that video was up for half a month or however long you said, less than a month. You guys clearly wanted that up there, or else it would have been taken down. It wouldn't, like I said, it wouldn't have been uploaded in the fucking first place. There's no way you guys don't actually review what you're posting. But still, what the actual fuck?
That we took off, that we announced that is not the right fit for us, because there's nothing else for you to attack us on. And so you have to attack us on something that is non-existent. It is non-existent, and it was never part of PragerU Kids. It is also currently not part of PragerU.
Just because you delete it, that doesn't like get rid of your affiliation with the content. What the actual fuck? It's still, and first of all, people still uploaded it. So it's still stuff we can find online. But even then, I mean, there's a million other videos. You got your climate change fucking denier guy who's quoting himself in his videos and shit like that as his source. You guys got a lot of videos that are like really, really stupid and shitty. And this is also like, what the actual fuck is this defense? This defense is horrible. Honestly, we're going 20 minutes in too, guys. I'm going to end the video. Leave a I guess the dislikes don't matter anymore. I don't know why I'm still saying that in 2023. But anyways, subscribe if you want. Leave a comment. And yeah, Slimber out.